My name's Doug Weist. I'm on Weist Farms Incorporated north of Choteau, Montana, near Agawam. I'm a fourth generation farmer, hoping to keep the legacy going. And we've got about a 4,000 acre, mostly dry land, barley, canola, peas, wheat, cow farm, and everything variable rate and auto steered. So we're using Topcon CropSpecs on this sprayer. This is barley, and this is our first application. So traditionally, you'd put all your fertilizer on up front and hope it rains. Well, we're on an as-needed approach. As we go across this field, the lighter soils need a little more nitrogen than the heavier soils, and the crop is going to tell us that on the go. And then the X30, of course, interprets that and calculates a rate for us. So yeah, on the go, variable rate, right now, real time. Just-in-time management is what I call it. Some of the best things about Topcon is the usability and the interface. The X30 in particular, I like to think of it as an iPad-like display, meaning it's very interactive. The graphics are amazing, and you can set it up as complicated or as simple as you like. So just the usability, and then the cleanness in the cab, one screen, and it's capable of doing all the mapping because we've got an AGI-4 on the roof. So now with the GPS, not only do we know where we've been, the machine drives, it's automatically changing the rate as we change speed. Just everything's perfect. And in this particular sprayer, it's 120 feet wide and we're at 0 overlap. So it can't be any more efficient. This is an electronic steering interface. It's from Topcon. And so instead of putting hydraulics and hoses and a bunch of different hardware, we can actually replace the steering wheel and put this guy on there, and as you can see, it's steering it better than I could do it, and it's doing it within an inch. There's also a sensor on the actual wheels giving it feedback, so it's pretty amazing, forward or reverse. And the last component we have, which is kind of new, are the Topcon CropSpecs. They're actually scanning as we're moving, looking at the different nitrogen status as we go. Then the X30 grabs that information, it's got your speed, it's got your width, and then it can calculate what rate of nitrogen it needs to be applied on the field right now, right here in this spot. So instead of calling the co-op in December and having them spread 100 pounds of fertilizer on the field and hoping everything works out, we're on a wait and see, just-in-time approach here on our farm. Because with the weather, we're totally dependent on weather and rain. Even places where it does rain, you don't know what you're going to get, when you're going to get it, or how much. So it's a pretty amazing tool, not only the hardware, the iron, but also the technology, because we can get out here and get the job done and give the crop what it needs, where it needs, when it needs it. In the last 2 years last year for sure, we've been really dry, so we were able to save $20,000 to $30,000 in fertilizer costs and maintained an average yield. But again, it varies on every year. So depending on your operation, how you're running on cash flow, what crops you use, or what crops you grow, it's going to vary. But the guys that are using these things, they're growing higher yields on the same or less fertilizer every time.